Hi, I'm Phil Spencer, and welcome to the Move IQ podcast home selling series, the only podcast series dedicated to help you sell your property. This season is sponsored by Go2 Group, who have a concierge service that can help you with all you need, from choosing the right agent, mortgage advisor, solicitor, surveyor, even removals. Plus, using Go2 online auctions or their committed buyer service to sell your home can give you certainty and peace of mind. We've added a link below so you can connect with them. Enjoy the podcast and hope you find it useful.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Move IQ podcast. It's a pleasure to be with you again. I'm here with the one and only Phil Spencer. Episode number 6, season 3, and we're going to talk about chains.
Yes, the old complicated scenario of property chains and the delicate nature that they are.
So allow me then to ask you a very simple, but I think quite an open-ended question here: is what is a property chain? Because we hear about it a lot, but I don't think the general public out there really truly knows what this is in terms of the ins and outs.
When you get a number of people all buying and selling one another's houses, you get a collection of them, and they are all interrelated. So that becomes a chain because all the links need to connect. And actually nobody can buy or sell until all the links are connected. Chains are very delicate, and over the last couple of years, they've tended to get longer as the market's got a bit stickier. And the longer it takes to put a chain together and get everybody into the right position on the right day in order to exchange contracts and then complete on the same day, it's got tough. And you only need one link of the chain to break, and the whole thing just falls apart.
So we don't want to be the one that breaks the chain, right? So what can we do to make sure that doesn't happen?
As we alluded to in the previous episode, it's about preparation of yourself and your paperwork, but also it's about getting momentum at the beginning and being clear about your aims and objectives. If you are working to a particular timescale, then everybody in the chain needs to know what that timescale is. Having said that, and this is a massive caveat, I would talk about let's get to I'm looking to exchange contracts within 3 weeks, a month, whatever it is. And so people in the chain need to know that because you're getting married or changing jobs or having a baby or whatever it is. I think it's a mistake to start talking about completion dates too early. And I do come across people who go, the chains or the buyer and the seller introduced, the price is agreed, and they say, right, well, we're aiming for, we want to complete on the 1st of September. But hang on a minute. That's fine. We might get to complete on the 1st of September, but one stage at a time. Let's get to an exchange of contracts. And once everyone's at an exchange of contracts, then and only then do you start talking about the completion date. But there are so many variables. Chris, how many times do I say that word when you and I are discussing the housing market? I mean, the chains is particularly relevant. Understanding people's motivation to do the deal, their commitment to do the deal, their ability to do the deal. Can they raise the money? The price that's paid, the timings that are being discussed up and down the chain. It is a slightly grey area, and of course people feel a little bit exposed when you're selling your house.
There's a lot of uncertainty there, a lot of the time.
You might know, or you should know, the person that's made you an offer, so you know them and their situation, and you can assess whether you think they're serious or committed or able or whatever it is. But actually up and down the chain, either side of that, you've no idea what's going on.
Right.
You might get the headlines from an estate agent, but you don't really know.
Right.
And that's where it can get uncertain.
So let me ask you this: is there a time of the year where a breakdown of the property chain taking place is less likely? You know, I don't know whether it's people are just in a better mood at a certain time of year. I mean, is there such a thing as the best time to sell a house?
I don't think there is. I mean, historically, spring and summer were the busiest times in the market.
Why?
That was just when more people chose to move.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
But that didn't actually mean they moved. It means that they started looking or they started selling. I think a lot of people still talk about, well, I want to have got this done by Christmas. Whether that happens or not it's a different
It's a
matter.
big family event.
But
Yeah.
the one thing that nobody can change and motivates a lot of people moving is the start of the school year. So early September, new year, a lot of families are looking to have things concluded. In fact, need to have things concluded by that time to be in the right catchment area or to the journey to school,
Yep.
that kind of thing. So that's a definite. And I guess that can perhaps explain why it's useful to know why people are moving and what they're looking to achieve. Because if you know that they are getting married at that point, having a baby at that point, school starts at that point, then you know they're going to be motivated to have it all done.
Course.
So that's good news.
I mean, surely your agent plays a pretty major part in this as well, as part of this process, making sure it doesn't all break apart.
The agent's role in selling is kind of threefold. Marketing, getting it out there, getting people through the door. Then it's agreeing the price, what's fair in the market at the time and the best price. But actually the third and just as important stage is overseeing that transaction, keeping everybody moving, getting the surveyor around, answering the solicitor's inquiries and making sure there's a good flow of information. That is a vital part, because you can have the best marketing, you can agree the best price, but actually if you don't manage that deal, it's not going to happen.
Right.
And I think often that can be overlooked. I think but something else that often can perhaps be misrepresented or misunderstood is people feeling that if they accept an offer on their house before they have found somewhere to move to, that they're going to be left homeless. Yeah, generally meet
And
people.
that's a fair issue.
It's a
Yeah.
real concern for people. No, I can't possibly put my house on the market because I haven't found anything to move to and I don't want to be left homeless. And this is why it's related to the chain, because actually everybody within that chain, within the string of transactions, has to exchange contracts on the same day at the same time and agree the same completion date, well, a month ahead, 2 months ahead. So no one's going to be left homeless, but equally somebody can change their mind right up until that day.
Very interesting stuff. I mean, this is, I think, it's one of the big topics of buying and selling homes that people are well aware of, and they know it's there and they worry about it to a certain degree. But I think you have broken down a few myths and you've given a few truths in this episode as well, in terms of the importance of this, and particularly, I think the key word here, momentum.
Yes.
Keeping that momentum going so that things don't fall apart.
And I think honest and open communication as well, stands for great.
So could we say, and pardon the pun here, communication.
Oh, good.
Communication.
I was hoping you wouldn't do that.
But you knew I was going
I
to.
kind of had it, yes. One thing that I do see happen, and it always kind of, because I think it's unnecessary, when selling houses, being involved in changes is complex. It's fraught. There's money, there's emotion, there's time scales, there's quite a bit of stress involved if it doesn't go smoothly. And there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But people can get very principled about it. No, you said this, I'm not doing that, you must out of your mind, I'm not selling to you, or no.
Right.
People can react in a stressful situation in perhaps an unbalanced way. I'm always trying to take the heat out of that situation. Let's not get personal. If it was you, how would you react? Let's try and put the boot on the other foot and imagine yourself if you had lost your job or your wife broke her leg. How would you deal in this situation? Would you be able to make that decision to buy or not to buy right now? So just take the heat out. Don't get principled. This is business, but it's also human and human emotion.
Good advice, as always. As we wrap up this episode, we look forward to our next one, where things are going to get a little bit more rosy. Not so, should we say, negative, a little bit more positive. We're going to talk about what happens when you get the offer on your property.
How to assess it, what to do with it. As ever, it's complicated stuff, but it's fascinating talking about it.
It's going to be good. We will see ya in episode 7, coming right up next.